Just some of us are getting wiser. Oh, it's a Cosmos subscriber. There he is, Papi, there he is. And here we go, spawning in the bottom right-hand corner of Babylon. We have the best Protoss player in all of South Korea. Arguably the best Protoss player in the world, representing CranKy Gaming. It is herO. And spawning in the top left-hand corner, we have his opponents. We have, likewise, the best Zerg player in all of South Korea, representing CranKy Gaming, as they are teammates. It is Dark. Oh, Dark mixing things up, going for a 14 hatchery. You love to see it. This has been making the rounds amongst the Korean players. Specifically, I've been seeing Dark, DRG, and Ragnarok do this. So, if you're familiar with the 15 hatch, this is a very similar concept. The point, of course, is to try to get your natural base before the probe shows up. So, a very early hatchery here from Dark is able to make sure he ensures his natural location instead of being forced to take one of these unnatural naturals, if you will. One of these third bases. So yeah, very nicely done here by Dark. It is an adaptation that a lot of Zerg players have been playing around with, whether it's the 14 hatch or there's the 15 hatch as well, the 15-15. Both of them, they have like the same overall idea. The idea being that you get your natural base up and running. And this is going to set Dark up quite well early on to defend against the initial oracles, to defend against things like Glaive Adepts as well. Just because we'll have some more secure creep spread and we'll have a better position on top of this ramp to defend, to wall off. Overall. So we are going to be getting into our first game. And Dark patiently waiting after a series against Classic, and again, I expect this series to be very different. I do know that herO and Classic can be similar in certain ways, but as we've already seen here, I mean, herO did it twice against Solar. Like, herO is so willing. Just give him a reason, give him an excuse, and he'll throw down a fleet beacon. he will embrace the Sky Toss, Papi, because why not? Why not? We saw it in Game 1 against Solar, we saw it in Game 3 as well. Classic, not so much. Classic is a little bit more... I don't know, he's afraid of heights. He wants to stay on the ground. As long as he can. As long as he can. He's not that kind of Protoss. Oh. So we are getting into this third base. Not going to be delayed for too long. Dark is able to get it up and running as well. Adept just going to be poking, threatening the bases, trying to get an eye on things, trying to be as much of a nuisance as possible. And we have that first Oracle on the way. No Phoenix. No Phoenix yet. Second Oracle about to join... Sorry, second Adept about to join the fray, and we are about to bear witness here to the aggression of herO. We've seen game after game his Oracle harass, his Adept harass, get a bit out of hand. Even against Solar, he was doing quite a lot of economic damage. I mean, we saw the fourth base of Solar cancelled 3 times. 3 times! Ah, it was brutal to watch, Papi, brutal to watch. And we'll see if herO can do the same to Dark. I do think it's going to be a little bit more difficult. Dark, he's usually really on point when it comes to his queen positioning, but we'll see. The Adepts are keeping his links busy. The Oracle's threatening that third. We have that second Oracle on the way behind this. And Dark is a lot more focused on keeping up with these Adepts, less so on counterattacking. This third base is going to be getting up and running, and Dark isn't going to try to force herO to turn back around or anything like that. Oh, is just trying to keep up with the harassment, with the aggression of herO. And so far has been able to do so, but the Oracles do dive into the natural base. These drones are a little bit exposed. 4 of them will go down, only for a little bit of hull damage. At the same time, Lynx go for a counterattack, but the Adepts were ready for them. They do nothing. So far, a good start for herO. 4 drones, and he holds onto his third base. Meanwhile, behind this, we did actually invest into a third Oracle as well. We're working towards Blink and, a Twilight Council and a Forge behind this for +1. And I imagine Blink. We can always go into Charge. Charge has been a little bit popular recently, but there we go. Blink is on the way at the same time. Once again, the Queen's a little bit out of position. 3 more drones go down. 8 in total. For only a little bit of hull damage. Once again, good trades coming out from herO. Dark working on his lair as we speak. There's that Roach Warren as well, lined up so we can start Roach speed as quickly as possible. No fast Evo chamber, no fast +1 melee. Not this time. Did I say 8? Sorry, I meant to say 7. 7 drone kills. And the Oracles are trying to find a way into the main, but this time Dark is able to keep up with them. We have a 4th base on the way. The Oracle's not quite in position to deny it, so this time I don't think herO is going to have, you know, an easy time denying the 4th like he did against Solar. Oracle's not quite where they need to be for that. Ooh, thank God. It's going to get up and running. And as we did have a bit of a later Evo chamber, it is going to be +1 range, not melee. So a much more Roach heavy style. Oh, as Dark is actually going for a Spire again. He did this against Classic, and I didn't think he would try to do it on Babylon. I think it can be a little bit risky. Just because the map is a little bit smaller, and the likelihood of herO catching this is a little bit higher. If you remember, when Dark went for a Spire against Classic, it was after Classic lost his Oracle. And he only went for a double Oracle opener as well. Meanwhile, herO went for a triple Oracle opener, and all of them are still alive, and we are working towards our push. We have, oh my god, we have 8 gates behind this. It is going to be a 3 base all-in, pure Blink Stalkers. herO doesn't want Dark to breathe. He doesn't want him to get into his own game. He's looking to just be as aggressive as possible here and now. Lings are trying to keep up. Adepts threaten the Shade. They do commit to the Shade into that 3rd base, and they're going to be able to pick off some of these workers. They also expose the 4th. The 4th is going to go down. Even if the Spire finishes, Mutas are not what we want right now. We need Lings. We need Roaches. Mutas may just kill Dark. As herO reinforces. Pushing forward even further. Again, if you remember, herO did this against Solar on Ancient Cistern. Was it Ancient? In game 2. Able to snowball out of control. I think of herO, I think of Classic. I think of Classic, actually. As the Oracles dive into the main base. Stalker is going to be threatening the front door as well. It looks like Dark is, yeah, he's going to be able to... God, every time. So herO does back off. He got the 4th, but he wasn't able to break the 3rd base, but herO's ahead. Straight up, like, he did do enough damage. He has a pretty solid lead. And you know what he does with that lead? Of course he does. Throws down a Fleet Beacon. Throws down a Stargate. Working on +1 air attack. Sky Toss. I said this at the start of the game. Give herO a reason. Give him a reason, and he will throw down a Fleet Beacon. That's exactly what he's doing here as well. I mean, it's smart, right? Like, it's just a way to get further ahead. You know, it's just, he's just taking up, he's being very greedy with his tech. But he knows he has the advantage. He knows that Dark is on the back foot. He is stuck defending at home. Like, why not just rush into Sky Toss like this? Carriers are on the way. Yeah, herO just capitalizing on his lead. Oof. As he is looking to try and force a cancel on this 4th base, and he will cancel the 4th. Oh, that was brutal, especially considering it was so close to finishing. Meanwhile, the Mutas do pop out, and they're going to get some damage done. More importantly, they scout the tech. They see the Fleet Beacon. They see the Stargates. Oh, and they get 9 drone kills. Probe kills, even. Very nicely done. Now, behind this, Dark was working on Hydras. He threw down a Hydra Den. He's got a Hive on the way. Dark, he has some options. Oh, I don't know if I like this. He has a Spire, so if he wanted to, he could go into Corruptor production, but he's opting not to. He's going for Hydras instead, which has a little bit less longevity. Hydras, of course, can hit a pretty crisp timing, and they can deal with a low amount of carriers. 100%. They can kill like 3-4 carriers, for sure. And they can even dance with up to 6 carries with Vipers. Like, Vipers can support Hydras so well. But yeah, it's an interesting move to go for, especially considering that Dark already has a Spire. Like, he's already got it, so he could have gone into Corruptors if he wanted to. Alas, he doesn't. Now, the other added benefits of going into Hydras is that we can go towards a Lurker Den. We can take up towards Hydra Lurker Viper, which can go toe-to-toe with Skytoss. It isn't like your ultra late game ideal composition, but it can do quite well. As the mutas go in, they get confirmation of the carriers. And a couple more probes towards the end as well. As the final mutas are going to get cleaned up. Behind this, we do have an Infestation Pit as well as Vipers, so we're taking up towards all the Spellcasters, Vipers, Infestors. Infestors can work well here to help Microbial Shroud. Oh, sorry, not Microbial Shroud. The other one. What's it called? No, it is. Yeah, it is. Yeah, there's Blinding Cloud and Microbial Shroud. That's it. They can Microbial Shroud in case there were storms. There is no storm, though, so there's not too much reason for those Infestors. Behind this, there's that Lurker Den on the way. Lurker Den is in production, so Dark does want to go for Hydra Lurker Viper. He does have some of the best Hydra Lurker Viper control in the world. Like, he can contest against this, but the Lurker Den isn't done yet, and herO is about to max out. Dark, without Lurkers, he is quite vulnerable. Oh boy. I'm sure herO is aware of that. Does get eyes on the entire army. And he sees that he's out of position, so he's just going for a big counterattack on the right-hand side. We're going to be cleaning up some of the stack defense. We can't quite engage with all these Hydras, and ooh, Dark is going to be able to chase this back. A lot of Stalkers are going down at the same time the carriers push forward. And the carriers are going to be exposing themselves. hero's going to be careful. The Vipers are looking for those abducts. Up. There it is. 1, 2, 3 carriers get abducted, and all 3 of them will go down. Oh, herO just exposing his own army. Is it going to be worth it? He does counterattack. He wants to get this hatchery, and it looks like he will get it. Now, a 3 carriers worth a hatchery, a 4 carriers worth a no. The answer is no. That was a costly loss here for herO. Again, he didn't have as much to support his army just for that counterattack. The Blink Stalkers do move forward, though. We are going to be shaving off a lot of these Hydras, but again, that was a big blow to the army of herO. The wall is not a wall. The Hydra's waddling on into the natural base. herO being pulled apart as his fresh 5th base is also under threat. These roaches are going to be cleaned up on the right-hand side, but again, we want to get rid of these roaches. They have served their use in this game. They don't really have too much value anymore, as they're going to be able to get a couple of probes. Just pushing on the left-hand side as well. They did kill that 5th. And what do we have to work with? We're down to 4 carries at this point. The Lurkers aren't done yet. Oh, they are going to be cancelled. Vipers move forward, but we do have a couple of feedbacks. 1 Viper still has energy for an abduct, and we will get 1. We get 2. The Stalkers link on forward as well. We're trying to engage, but we just don't have enough firepower. The Lurkers have burrowed, and Dark holds on. Now, both players are hurting in different ways. Dark, I believe he just lost his Vipers. He's only got 1 Viper left. He lost a lot of his Lurkers as well. He's only got 2 remaining. Likewise, herO, oh god, has been knocked down to 2 carriers and a handful of disruptors. It's all about who can max out first, and if we look at the drone count, Dark doesn't have a good economy. He's stuck on 69 drones. Nice. But he's at a very low drone count. He has a very low worker count, which means that fight really did hurt him, and it's going to take him a long time to rebuild. So both players are basically going to take a timeout. They're both going to back off, and they're going to lick their wounds. And who's going to be the first to come out with a maxed out army? Infestors on the way. It does feel like Dark's army is a little bit more high quality with these Vipers and Infestors. herO, though, is mixing in High Templar. He has Storm on the way as well. A a lot of disruptors. It's going to take a lot to control this army. We have to feed back the Vipers, we have to feed back the Infestors, we have to storm the Hydras, and we need to use these Purification Novas on the Lurkers as well, or the army itself. So there's a lot for herO to try and do. We'll see if he can. Oh boy. And really, it comes down to the feedbacks. I feel like the feedbacks are probably the most important thing. But we'll see. Stark is going to be leapfrogging forward. Do we have Neural? No, we don't have Neural Parasite. We can only Fungal. Oh god, the Novas! Oh, they do get 2 of those Lurkers. Not the best start here for Dark. He doesn't have that many Lurkers to begin with. He's moving on forward. He's looking for the Abducts. Doesn't quite get them. Looking at the units tab. Yeah, we only have 6 Lurkers, and they're all here on the front lines. Oh, feedbacks are thrown down. We have the counter Fungal. And 2 of those had Templar do get sniped. There is that Yoink as well. Carrier does go down. At the same time, a Roach Hydra army is going to be going for a bit of a counterattack. herO did spot this ahead of time. He's trying to rotate over. He's trying to keep up with his ground army, and he will be able to clean up these Hydras. This is an expensive loss here for Dark. But he gets 12 probes. He gets a good amount of damage done. The Roaches push forward. They want the Disruptors. They're gonna get one. Oh, and 3 Hydras were left alone. 3 Hydras were left in the mineral line, and they get out of control. They get everything. 17 probes go down. At the same time, the army pushes forward, and we just run into storms. We land every single storm. And I'm worried. I'm worried because we don't have a lot of anti-air. We have a lot of Lurkers, but how much shoots up? It's okay. We have 13 Corruptors on the way. Those Lurkers are still looking a little bit exposed. herO's not going for them, though. He's going for a counterattack instead. Bold move. He does have a recall available. And here we go. The top right-end base is going to be going down. Corruptors are coming in from behind. And the Archons aren't quite in position to protect these Tempests. Oh, the Infestors waddle on in. The Infestors go down one after the other. The Corruptors do take down at least the Carriers. Up! But the Lurkers, they overextend. Almost every single Lurker goes down. The Corruptors are exposed. Dark hasn't been trading well. He lost the majority of his Lurkers. He lost all of his Infestors as he did attack in with them. And a good chunk of Corruptors. We're down to 5 Corruptors. The Infestor count was reset. The Viper count was reset. We have lost our Spellcasters. herO has a lot of momentum going his way. I think that fight was the game-winning fight for herO. He takes down to the Northern Hatchery. Dark knows that he can't defend. He goes for a counterattack, but we recall back home. herO's in position. And yeah, Dark just lost all of his high-tech units. He lost all the Vipers, the Infestors, the majority of the Corruptors. He's trying to rebuild as we speak. herO is lacking detection. Oh no, wait, where's the observer? There it is. I was like, where are the observers? There we go. Observers do move forward, and herO's going to be able to clean up all this creep. At the same time, we do have a Lurker counterattack on the right-hand side. It is going to be punishing this mining base here of herO. And he's actually going to respond with the majority of his army. Lurkers are going to get a lot done here. I'm concerned that herO is maybe pulling back with too much. I'm concerned that maybe he's going to be exposing his left-hand side, but we'll see as 11 probes go down. herO did leave his Disruptors back at home, though, and it looks like the Disruptors are going to be enough to fend off the army. Potentially? Up! As the Novas do go off, they take down one of the Lurkers, but the others do get into the mineral line. Gonna be denying even more mining here. But these are expensive losses. We're losing Lurkers. Dark going for another counterattack. At this point, he's just making Ling Hydra. We've given up on the lunkers at this point, Papi. We got 4 left. And Dark is actually pulling herO apart. Dark, he can never like fight the main army, but just like that, he picks up what, 5 Archons for free? Gets the base as well, takes down top right. hero's been having a really hard time. As he chases down top right, we have another army coming in towards the left, and there's nothing left at home. herO was looking so good earlier. Dark doing a great job of just causing a lot of havoc, causing a lot of chaos, and coming back in this game, getting these bases back up and running, keeping herO on the back foot. But let's be real, he's poking the bear, and at a certain point, herO is going to have enough, and he's going to push out. By the time he does, though, like, Dark has been able to amass a decent army. Got a good amount of Hydras. He's looking for us around, or he's just ignoring the army itself. He's going for a base trade. And we are forced to recall once again. There are lurkers in the natural, Hydras at the 3rd, Hydras at the 4th as well. We have the Microbial Shroud. Let's go. They're not going to help against Disruptors, but you know what? They help against the Interceptors at least. Oh my god. And Dark is losing too much. Dark went for the tri-pronged attack and he lost everything, actually. He did lose everything. GG gets called and herO takes game number 1. GG. I was shocked when I panned over to the 3rd base and I saw a wall of blood. I saw where the Hydras used to be. I just saw just nothing but blood remaining. I'm like, oh, this did not go well. Dark almost came back in that game. He was almost able to pull herO apart. Towards the end, he committed to a big fight though, like rushing into every base at once, and this time herO was able to deal with that. He was able to clean up the army. GG, herO takes a lead in this series. Let's go. GG, well played. Hello, Legion. Hello. If you think you need an excuse to play Skytoss, you need help. True. Just do it whenever you want. Oh god, and I don't know if I'm looking forward to this. Game 2 is going to be taking place on altitude. Let's go, Papi. Let's go. Question, who's doing the mid-season playoffs later? You mean the OSC mid-season playoffs? I think Wardy. I think Wardy's been covering the mid-season playoffs recently. Oh. As here we go. We're getting into game number 2 and spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of altitude. We have the best Protoss in all of South Korea, in potentially the world, representing CranKy Gaming. It is herO. Torilla, papi, torilla. I just saw you from Finland. As spawning in the top right-hand corner of altitude, we have his opponent. We have the South Korean Zerg player representing CranKy Gaming. It is Dark. Oh, hello, Mixu. Hello. ¿Qué tal? ¿Cómo estás? I think Torilla is the only word I know in Finland. I don't even think I'm pronouncing it correctly either. It's all I know, Papi. It's all I know. Oh. So we are getting into this, and this time Dark doesn't go for the 14 hatcheries, forced to take the unnatural natural instead. So he's gonna have a little bit of a more awkward time defending his bases in the early game, but I'm sure he's used to it by this point. Sure, he's used to that. As we are loading on in. And the reason why I was concerned about altitude is because, as we were saying in the previous series with Classic, on this map, just like we saw in the previous game on Babylon, herO is more than willing to throw down a Fleet Beacon, to throw down some Stargates, and go Skytoss at any point. Whenever he does take a lead. Whenever he gets an advantage. Oh boy. Not again, Papi, not again. Por favor. Let's go. Oh no, Clone, you're finally off your phone. What have you been doing this entire time? Oh my god. Shaking my head, shaking my head. Go back to your chat GPT. Go back. Back to the shadows. As the probe is just going to be, you know, slipping in, harassing, forcing a little bit of inefficient mining here from his opponent. As Dark does pull out of gas. Oh, crisp pull out there. Love to see it. At 100 gas. And it's going to be saturating his natural base. Meanwhile, across map, herO is going for a Stargate opener. Nothing too crazy. Again, tis the standard of standards in PvZ nowadays. There's just so much versatility you can do here with the Stargate opener. You can get into a Void Ray first and hide your tech and transition into a Twilight Council. You can go for additional oracles and, you know, look to maintain map control, get a faster third base, and do economic damage. We can even get into Sky Toss. Sky Toss. Oh, it's beautiful. It's beautiful. As Dark does get across the map with his first 2 lings, and he gets a full scout, confirms the saturation. Gonna be a little bit annoying here in the main, and he does spot that Stargate. You love to see it. Up, 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 up. As he threatens that probe, but does get hunted down by the Adept in the end. You have that first Oracle on the way. And I guess it's always important to point out that it is an Oracle. We have seen previously that herO is willing to go into a Phoenix first, or even a Void Ray at times. But he's going to be sending his first Oracle across the map. At the same time, Dark is being very active with these lings, looking to try and potentially catch that probe, delay that third base. Adepts did spot the lings though, so herO is going to be in position, and the lings are going to have a hard time delaying that third nexus. As the first Oracle gets across the map, Queens are in position. We're going to be able to get 2 drones. The Spore isn't quite done in time, but we do get a surround though, and that's a lot of damage dealt to that Oracle as it almost goes down. Very nice positioning here from Dark. Quite a lot of damage done to that first Oracle already. At the same time, he attempts to threaten that third base, but herO's here in position with his SimCity, with his Adepts. He's going to be able to fend off those lings. As the second Oracle has a hard time busting on through as well. So even though we lost 3 drones earlier, so far a pretty solid defense by Dark overall. The third Oracle joins the fray. And behind this we do have that Twilight Council and a Forge for +1 and Blink. As now with the help of that third Oracle, we dive in and we just ignore the Spore. There was only 1 Queen here at the third base, so we were able to get a little bit more damage done, and 5 drones go down. Oh, for only some hull damage. And this is getting a little bit out of hand. 8 drones so far in total, which is still manageable, but these Oracles are going to be looking to regenerate those shields. They're going to be looking to dive in once again for a second time, so Dark's going to be a little bit careful. Likewise, behind this, we're actually not going into Blink. We're going to charge into a very fast Templar Archives as well. We're going to be looking here with Charge Lots and with Archons. Oh boy. So again, herO is going to be mixing things up. Dancing between the bases. Does get eyes on at least the lair timing. Up. Up. As he meticulously does pick off every single gas mining drone. 3 drones do go down. And so far, Dark hasn't been able to go for a follow-up scout. He hasn't been able to confirm what exactly his opponent is up to. As we're going to have 8 gates to work with. And I believe we're going to be hitting here with these first 2 Archons. But we don't have a Prism, right? Yeah, no Prism. Never mind. I do know that you can hit a pretty crisp timing with 2... Oh, there's that Robo. But we can hit a pretty crisp timing with 2 Archons and with your 8 gates behind it. The last hero is going to be waiting a little bit longer, setting up for a 4th. Here we go. herO is looking to push out. Now, what kind of army does Dark have to work with? We do have a Roach Warren. Thankfully, a couple of Roaches are on the horizon. We're going to need them here if we want to defend against this push. we go. The Archons have been revealed. Dark is fully aware he's making nothing but roaches as we speak, preparing back at home. As herO doesn't throw down that fourth. Okay, yeah, there's that prism on the way as well as +2. Looks like herO wants to try to commit. And this is going to hit quite hard. I mean, thankfully, Dark saw this coming ahead of time, so he's able to... Like, sometimes this hits Zerg players, and they only have Lings to defend, or Ling Bane to defend. So Dark is able to muster up a Roach army. Behind this herO, he's taking another base, and he throws down the Bay. So he's going to be transitioning. He's going to be backing off and working towards his fourth, and soon-to-be Disruptors, or Colossi, or both. So hero's going to be taking more of a defensive position instead. I do think that initially he wanted to hit, like, I'm pretty sure he wanted to be a little bit more aggressive, but alas, things didn't quite line up for him, so he's going to back off. Working on his second robo as we speak. And his Zelts are slipping into the main, and it's happening again! This is interesting, though. We're getting into double Disruptor production, and we're also working towards Skytoss behind it. We are being very greedy tech-wise right now for herO. We have +1 air attack on the way, which means we should be seeing that fleet beacon momentarily. Meanwhile, before that happens, Dark is going to max out. He is maxing out here with Ling Roach. He was making an army earlier to defend against the Archon push, and it never came. So, I mean, he's got to do something with this army. Looking for a way in, but herO is so well set up defensively. Look at all these stasis traps. Oh my god. First one gets baited out, but we have two more behind this. At the same time, it looks like we're setting up for a Baneling run-by. Notice we have 25 Banelings on the way. There's that fleet beacon. There is that Stargate. Now, can herO get away with this? Can he survive long enough to actually get into carriers? We're here to find out. As Dark is going to try to stop him. We have the Ling Bane rolling on forward. Novas are going to be going off decent connections on the Roaches. At the same time, we have that Baneling run by, but no, it does run into a wall of Archons. It does nothing. Oh, the Banelings are able to take down the majority of the stack defense. This fourth base is being broken. At least until the Archons show up. Oh god, we do have the Disruptors being focused now, but no, another Nova connects. It's quite close, but it looks like Dark barely has enough. He gets the final Disruptor. The Lings are slipping into the mineral line. Zealots run into Banelings. They go down instantly. And it looks like Dark has done it. It was a close fight, but he does break through. And with the death of this fourth base, with the death of this mineral line, it's going to be a tough road here. A rough road to recovery for herO. Carriers are on the way, but by the time they come out, everything is going to be on fire. Now, herO still has a third fully operational. Fully operational, to be fair, but he's trying to go for a run-by. For a counterattack, but the Queens are in position. The Lings, the Roaches as well. The problem is that we need a fourth. We need a fourth to actually sustain the production here of herO. To actually make Skytoss. And Dark is about to max out, and what he just did to the fourth base, he's going to do to the third. Let's be real here. herO barely has anything left on the ground. He's got a couple of Disruptors. He lost his Archons earlier. Looking at the units tab, he's got one Archon to his name at his natural. And Dark has maxed out. Again, it was a really awkward path here for herO. It was like a really awkward road to his Skytoss, and yeah, this time he wasn't ahead when he was going into Skytoss. He was behind instead. As here we go, the Banelings roll on in. The Zealots go down instantly. Novas are going to be finding some decent connections, to be fair. But we're still trading pretty well, considering the fact that Dark is on full base saturation on 4 bases. Like, he can afford to throw away some Ling Bane. He can afford to throw away some Roaches. Spire is on the way. It's a late Spire. We don't have that much anti-air. Thankfully, we don't have that many carriers. I think if herO moved out now, maybe he could break his Dark. It's possible. Just because Dark has such limited anti-air. Yeah, I think now is the moment. Now is the moment for herO. It's now or never at this point. But he's being tentative. He's not really feeling too confident. And to be fair, like, it's a really risky call to make. Like, how would he know, like, how far away that Spire is? But herO is backing off, and he's giving Dark time to actually build up an anti-Skytoss army. That was a scary moment for Dark, not gonna lie. I've seen some maxed out Zerg players die to a handful of carries before. I've seen it. I know it can happen. It's happened before, Papi. It'll happen again. But here we go. 16 Corruptors are on the way. And yeah, herO, he's just taking a more defensive position instead. It's again, he's opting to just secure his 4th instead of being active on the map. And now Dark has a decent enough army to engage with herO. He's got to be careful though. Does have to respect those Archons. As the Corruptors are looking for a good angle. Here we go. The Lingbane does a rush on forward. Nova does zone away the army. A good trade for herO overall. He does shave off a good chunk of units. But Dark didn't lose any of his Corruptors. Still dancing with the army. Tis a delicate dance. The Corruptors need to avoid the Archons. The Roaches need to avoid the Disruptors. The Disruptors are exposed! Well, it looks like one of them will go down. And that may just be the moment that Dark was looking for. He collapses on the army. Disruptors go down, and now the Corruptors can focus on those carriers. And herO will be losing everything. Only 3 carriers remain. The Ling Roach bust through the ground. They bust through the army, and they're going to be able to lay siege upon the 4th. And it looks like Dark is fighting back in this series. GG gets called. And Dark will take game number 2. Oh. GG. Aye. I mean, Dark was in a pretty good position nonetheless, but it all did come down to that big fight. That big fight at the 4th. Where herO was like rushing into his sleeping and into carrier production. All herO had to do was hold on to his 4th. As I say that, it is a difficult thing to do just because Dark was maxed. And herO wasn't able to hold on in the end. GG, well played. And now we're looking to find out who takes the lead in this series. For the time being, we're tied up 1-1, and Game 3 is going to be taking place on Dragon Scales. Let's go. Hello, Shiva Plaster. What a time to tune in. True. KSL equals Dark and herO show match with extra steps. Sometimes. Sometimes that is the case. As here we go, we're diving into game number 3 and spawning in the top left-hand corner of Dragon Scales. We have the best Protoss player in South Korea in the entire world, representing CranKy Gaming. It is herO. And spawning in the bottom right-hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the South Korean Zerg player representing CranKy Gaming. They are teammates. We have the best Zerg player in South Korea. It is Dark. Let us go. Once again, we saw this in game 1. We didn't see it on altitude. I imagine Dark didn't think he needed to do it, but this is a 14 hatchery opening here from Dark. Why do you get it this early? Well, you get it this early because it is faster than the probe. It means that Dark is able to actually get his natural base up and running, isn't forced to take any kind of weird natural instead. So he will have a bit of an easier time in the early game. A much more stable base layout. You love to see it. It's kind of crazy that no one thought to do this until like recently. Like the 14 hatch is something that has popped up maybe over the past 4 weeks, maybe 5 weeks. Basically, ever since Eric flaunted the 15 hatch, he kind of opened the door for like experimentation, and that's kind of where the 14 hatch was born from the 15 hatch basically. And yeah, it's kind of crazy that we went through like 3 years of Zerg players forced to take their unnatural natural, and 3 years later, finally, it's like, oh, you know what? Maybe it looks like it's more efficient just take a faster hatchery. we just take the faster base and we can just expand. It's crazy. So despite how old this game is, the game is evolving over time, slowly but surely. Changes are being made. It's pretty interesting. I do think that sometimes I think players sometimes get a little bit comfortable, like a little bit too comfortable in the meta, and they do kind of forego like ingenuity or like innovation at times, and it takes like one player to like break the norm to like open up that door and be like, hey, what if we like experiment a little bit more here, and what if we can find something else that we can do? And yeah, it's really cool. It is really cool. As the third base is going to be delayed here, but that's why we have these Lings. Lings are looking to shut down the probe and eventually shut down this pylon. Behind this, herO is going for his Stargate opener, as to be expected. We've been seeing this every game so far in this series. I don't expect that to change. I'm not saying that herO can't go for a Twilight Council opener. He's done it before, but you know what? Why? Is there a need to? When you're so good with your Oracle harass, with your Adept harass, is it really necessary to spice things up and to risk things by going for more committed, aggressive openers? I'm sure we'll see it at some point this series. I'm sure. Stark is just going to be saturating his bases, working towards his queens, getting everything up and running. In before 13 hatch. Let's go. As he does do shade into the natural base, and oh, they're going to be able to get a decent amount of worker kills. The Spore is not done yet either, and oh my god, this snowball's a little bit out of control. 6 drones do go down. Of course, this does mean that this third base is a little bit exposed. The Lings are looking to counterattack, but there aren't that many Lings to begin with, and there is plenty of time here for the second Oracle to show up to protect that third. So not bad here from Dark, as ooh, that is a very early Baneling Nest. That is a hidden Baneling Nest as well. Dark, what do you have in store for us, Papi? Oh, we're worlding across the map. We're going for an all-in Ling, Bane, Queen, or a Bane bust essentially, with some Queens worlding across the map. Dark is looking to end the game one way or another. It's a one-way trip for the Queens. They're not coming back home, Papi. Aye, let's go. When you see the Oracles going across the map, they're going to be able to get a couple more drone kills, and they do get eyes on the Baneling Nest. That is a massive tell. They haven't seen the Queens, but seeing this Baneling Nest does set alarm bells off. herO should be aware that he has to prepare back at home. And there we go. He's giving up on the third. Third base is going to be cancelled. Up. Oh. Just waiting for the last moment to cancel that third base. Back in the natural, we have a shield battery on the way. We have additional gateways as well. herO is setting up a defense, and Dark is droning behind this. So these Queens are quite exposed. Oh, they're gonna be hunted down. Oh, or are they? Never mind. They're coming back home, but no, you're going the wrong way. We're coming back home, but we're coming back home. Let's go. Some of them are, not the others. There we go. Yeah. But yeah, Dark, it looks like he's content with just killing the third base. He's respecting his opponent enough to recognize that he cannot break the natural, and he is droning, he is transitioning. Oh, and it looks like the army does get caught out. The Banelings do connect, and herO will be losing quite a lot here, the Adepts as well as those sentries. Strong moment here from Dark, just containing herO here to 2 bases for as long as possible. Behind this, just droning up as best we can. The Queens survived. If the Queens have died, then I would say that this is a little bit more even, but I do think that Dark has quite a lot of momentum going his way still. So we have a fourth base being thrown down. Gas is being taken. There is no lair. Like, in some ways, like, Dark is a little bit behind when it comes to tech, or, you know, he's a little bit delayed when it comes to a lot of his tech just because of his overall build. But he's looking to catch back up. But herO isn't going to take this lying down. He gets 3 more drone kills. Oh, he's going to lose an Oracle. Oh, did I say 1? He loses both Oracles. Ay, ay, ay. 2 Oracles for 18 drones. It was worth it, but it would have been nice if herO were able to keep them alive. Those 18 drone kills, though, that is keeping herO in this game. As herO went behind Dark Shrine. Let's go, Papi. Let's go. DTs are on the way. Oh no. Oh no. That was a kill, not a cancel. That's 300 minerals down the drain for Dark. Miscalculating a little bit. It's quite a blunder here, and suddenly herO he's still in this. He's very much so still in this. Dark taking a hatchery here on the right-hand side instead. Ay, ay, ay. Likewise, herO rotates around and he's looking for another kill. He wants it, Bobby. Lings are able to keep up, though. They do look for a surround, but we have an Oracle to support them. It's only 1 Oracle. We lost 2 earlier, but it's going to be enough here to clean up a lot of these Lings. +1 melee coming in clutch, though, and a lot of Stalkers are going down. This is a costly trade for herO. Oof. A lot of gas down the drain, but we are reinforcing immediately with even more Stalkers, and the Lings, there aren't that many to replace them. The Queens do come forward to the front lines, but herO is breaking through. Show us the stasis trap. Up, up, up. Oh, doesn't quite go off. Immortal joins the fray, and herO is snowballing out of control. Dark, losing that hatchery earlier, does eat into his lava, into his production. It looks like he has recognized he cannot hold on to this base. He does evacuate. Oof. Oh my god. The force field. The stasis trap does go off, and that will force field and provide a lot of surface area, but it also walls herO off, so it's a bit of a double-edged sword. It does force him to rotate around instead. And this is that. Honestly, that stasis trap, I think that saved this hatchery. I'll be real. If it wasn't for that stasis trap, I think herO would have been able to keep on pushing and kill this hatchery. So a bit of a blessing in disguise for Dark. Does hold on to his bases. Is quite supply blocked, unfortunately. That's 6 overlords on the way. But he's looking to resaturate his bases. Work back up. We have a hive in production. Wait, do we not have a roach? We don't have a roach warren? This is a bold move by Dark. On a map like Dragon Scales, Dark is going pure Ling Bane. No roaches, no nothing, just Lings and Banelings. And here we go, he's taking up to Ultras. So Dark usually does this on larger maps like Ancient Cistern. I've seen him do this on Altitude. I've seen him pull this off on Neo Humanity, but Neo Humanity has a very different dynamic. Doing this on Dragon Scales is so risky. My god, as 7 more drones go down here, the Queen's completely out of position. Trying to pull off Ling Bane Ultra, you do require a lot of map control. You require a lot of map control and map presence to get away with taking up this quickly. And I don't think Dark has that. That's the problem. Like, herO's moving out and the Ultra Cavern isn't done. By the time it finishes, we're not going to have, like, in time for this fight, we're not going to have Kindness Plating. We're not going to have Overlord Speed. We're not going to have any upgrades. No +3. At the same time, the wall is not a wall. The Lings, they do flood into the natural. Dark trying to force herO to recall, but herO's not turning around. And I do think that Dark is being caught with his pants down a little bit. Oh, but herO turns around. Uh-oh. I don't think he needs to. The run by got cleaned up, Papi. We can keep pushing. We're rotating. Okay. herO's going to be rotating around. A massive Ling counterattack is going to be hitting this 4th base, but the DTs are here to defend. Banelings waddle on in, but no, we got Archons, and yeah, just a little bit too greedy here by Dark. Like, the Ultra Cavern is done, but he can't make any right now. And even if he did, again, he just doesn't have the upgrades to support them. Lings, we're gonna catch some reinforcements, but we have our Archons to reinforce. We're setting up a surround. A pretty damn good surround, all things considered. Yeah, we get on top of the Immortals. We're getting on top of the Archons as well. But here come the reinforcements. Yeah, it's a little bit too much. The Lings evaporate. GG gets called, and herO takes game number 3, taking a lead in this series. GG. Ugh. Dark being a little bit cheeky. Oh my god. Again, I don't see too many players get away with going Lingbane Ultra on Dragon scales. And to be fair, I'm sure you can. But the reality is that Dark was on the back foot, and usually you can go into Ultras when you have like an advantage, when you're ahead. It's difficult to do so from behind. Typically not the easiest tech to transition into. GG. GG. And with that, Dark needs to win this next game to force the H match. herO is 1 game away from becoming this week's KSL champion. Oh boy. Let's go. Let us go. It looks like game 4 is going to be taking place on Ancient Cistern. Now, this isn't a bad map for Ultras. But again, it does depend on who has the map control at the time, and we'll see if the game even goes that direction, even goes out long. So we are getting into this, and spawning in the top right-hand corner of Ancient Cistern, we have the South Korean Protoss player representing CranKy Gaming, the best Protoss in Korea, arguably the best Protoss in the world. 1 game away from becoming this week's champion. It is herO. And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of Ancient Cistern, we have the South Korean Zerg player, the best Zerg player in all of South Korea, representing CranKy Gaming. He needs to win this game to force the ace match, to force this to go to game 5. It is Dark. There we go. He's up against the wall. He's up against the ropes. Can he bring it back? This time setting up for a regular hatch first. Probe is here in position. Dark forced to take the unnatural natural. No 14 hatch this time. Not this time, Bobby. Oh, and yeah, that game was wild. I'm still recovering from it. There was that moment where I saw the hive on the way, and I'm like, wait a minute. I checked the building tab. It's like, there's no roach warren. We're crazy, Poppy. We're crazy. Aye. Trying to get away with pure Lingbane. I mean, if herO was more defensive, then I'm sure Dark would have gotten away with it, and I'm sure he probably would have even won the game if he was able to get away with his bases, with his tech, get into that Ultra Cavern, actually produce any Ultras as well. But herO was just constantly in his face. The Ling counterattacks from Dark were not forcing herO to turn back around. If you remember, there were DTs to defend, there were Archons to defend as well. Like, herO had more than enough to protect his natural and his 4th base, and yeah, I'm sure Dark was heavily reliant on those run-bys to force a reaction and force herO to be more defensive, but herO was unfazed. Completely unfazed in that game. Now we're getting into game number 4, and once again, it looks like we're setting up for a Stargate opener from herO. Have our expansion on the way. There's that Stargate thrown down. And as we've seen every game so far in the Grand Finals, I imagine hero's going to be going for an Oracle first. Got no reason to switch things up. No reason to go crazy with the Twilight Council opener or anything like that. Let us go. In the chat, Dark has gotten angrier but less careful lately. I think Dark was always kind of known as the player that takes a lot of risks. I think he's always been an aggressive player, but more so recently, it's possible. It's possible. I'd have to like think about that. When it comes to how his play has adapted over time, I do think that in ZVP recently he has been more aggressive than normal. We were talking earlier about how there was a week where he just did nothing but proxy hatches. I think it was like KSL like number 13 or something, where we had a Dark versus herO finals and it was over in like 20 minutes and like Dark was just all inning every game. So yeah, I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's Dark's ZVP or his ZV herO. But that's also why I love casting them, because it's always entertaining. It's always so entertaining to watch Dark versus herO. Very unique matchup here compared to some of the other Zerg players. Dark's crazy, but he's crazy, and so is herO in his own way. It's beautiful. There's a reason why they're teammates. Cool. As behind this, of course, we do go into our triple Oracle opener. The first two are zooming across the map as we speak, looking to find some economic damage. What do we have at home to defend? We have 3 Queens here at the third. We have 2 in the main. Naturals a little bit exposed, but there's nothing really to pick off here at the natural, and the Queens do rotate in time to fend off these Oracles. But this does cause the Queens to be a little bit out of position. The main base is a little bit more exposed, but no, the Spore is done. Another Queen pops out in time. We do have a Stasis Trap, but Dark is quick to react. We try to layer on a second Stasis Trap as well. This one gets a little bit more damage. 4 drone stasis, not too bad. Oh, ooh. The Oracles take a couple too many hits. Oh my god. herO caught in a really rough place, actually. He's going to be able to keep that Oracle alive. We have another Stasis Trap, but this one is going to be denied at the same time. Oh, looks like another Oracle showed up just to get a couple of drone kills. And yeah, Dark for the most part has been able to defend quite well. Only 3 drone kills. Stasis Trap did go off, but not the biggest of deals. At least the drones themselves did survive. Oh, and back at home, herO is setting up for his Twilight Council, his Forge. Oh, this is quite a hefty gateway explosion, though. herO looking to be quite aggressive behind this. 6 gates on the way in the addition to the 2 he already has. 8 gates in total. We saw this earlier in this series. Oh, as we're getting even more economic damage done. There was no Spore at the third. 4 more drones. But this is looking like an 8 gates, sorry, even a 9 gate 3 base all in. We'll see if herO moves out with his probe. Yeah, he does. He's setting up for a proxy or an outpost, basically, a proxy gateway across the map so we can reinforce. We're going to be pushing out without a prism. We got gateways for that. Oh boy, and this is going to hit like a truck. And considering how much economic losses Dark has been taking, 8 drones so far, like he's been quite busy here trying to keep up with these Oracles. This is going to be a scary moment for him. Here we go, Stalkers are moving out. We're going to be hitting with +1 and Blink. Oh, 1 Oracle did go down across the map. What do we have to defend? We are up to 65 workers. We're now at a decent worker count. We can focus on Ling Roach production. But Dark hasn't been able to scout at all. He hasn't seen this coming until now. Here we go. The Stalkers have arrived. The proxy gateway is still on the way. There's a moment here where it's going to take a while for herO to get his reinforcements. But the Stalkers are being warped in. herO did this against Solar, and now he's doing this against Dark. It was on Ancient Cistern as well, where herO was able to break Solar's third. We'll see if Dark can do what Solar couldn't. We'll see if he can hold on. Spire? Oh, we're crazy. Oh my god. In the middle of this defense, Dark throws out a Spire. Very risky move. I mean, it can work if he can survive. It really just caught me off guard. Okay. All right. Let's go, Poppy. Let's go. I mean, so far he's holding onto the ramp quite well. He's not giving herO an inch. And a very cheeky maneuver. We'll see if he can get away with it. As herO does split off his Oracles. And herO is taking a 4th base behind this. So herO is transitioning. He isn't going to be committing to this push anymore. It looks like he understands that he cannot break the defenses of Dark. Pushing up this ramp is just too difficult. Oracles dip in. They don't scout the Spire. And we're working towards charge, working towards +2. So yeah, Dark, like, accurately, like, assessing the situation and recognizing that he can get away with this tech. It's really cool. As more Lings are in production. +1 air attack is on the way. And Dark looking to even dive on top of this army. Behind this, the Oracles go or try to go for a backstab. But Dark keeps up with his queens. Things are going to be settling down, at least a little bit. I mean, hero's still active here with his army, but I feel like he needs to get out of here sooner rather than later. Yeah, the gateway is going to get shut down. Stalker's doing what they can, but the gateway does fall. herO immediately taking a 5th. My god. herO's getting his 5th at the same time as Dark. Just bear that in mind. Jesus Christ. I mean, he's had the map control, to be fair. Like, herO, he can afford to be greedy. And we have been not stopping Oracle production either. We're up to 5 Oracles. This is still a pretty threatening army. We have 8 mutas on the way, and there is not much to defend back at home. These mutas, they can do a lot of damage. But can we survive the push? There we go. Zealots are being shaved off. As Dark is distracted here with the main army, we do have a Zealot run by slipping in towards... They're even ignoring the 5th. They're going straight for the natural. And they do scout the mutas. Mutas are forced to reveal themselves. Roach Warren is going to get targeted down. Very interesting choice here by herO, but I love it. Sniping that tech does mean that Dark, what you see is what you get. He can only make Lings and mutas. As Zealot Run, but they're not done. They want more. Evo Chamber will be sniped as well. Oh. Just barely. Oh, just barely will survive, actually. Oh my god. Evo Chamber does hold on. At the same time, hero's trying to make way here at the 4th base, but he is being forced all the way back. Muta's even looking for a surround, and that's a lot of mutas, Papi. Has a lot of mutas. 24 mutas in total. But we reinforce with even more Blink Stalkers. Oracles get completely cleaned up. Oh my god. How many gateways do we have? We have 12 gates. Jesus. You can make 12 Stalkers at a time. herO is getting away with his 5th base. Mutas didn't quite head in that direction to harass. As Dark is looking for an opening. He actually has no idea about that base, by the way. He hasn't scouted the 5th. Is going to be rotating over in that direction. He runs into the Zealot run by at least. He's going to be able to clean this up, but this does give herO enough time to reposition his army. And I believe we never remade the Roach Warren, so just, yeah, Ling Muta. It's all we have. It is all we need. Ravagers are being caught out. An expensive loss here for Dark. The Mutas are committing. We're going for a base trade. This is like the 3rd base trade of the day. We've had a lot of these. Stalkers are committing. Hatcheries are falling left and right. Meanwhile, the Mutas are diving into the mineral lines as well. Natural is compromised the main. Standing quite strong. It does feel like herO is getting the better of this, though. He's in more bases at once. Zealots defend against the Ling run by. Hatcheries are falling left and right. The Muta cloud is still looking quite strong. We have 32 mutas. With 7 more mutas on the way. But yeah, every single one of these bases is going to be going down. Dark has to evacuate. Meanwhile, herO still has top left. It finally gets scouted. Dark had no idea. He had no idea, but now he does, and these mutas should be able to shut this down. Yeah, bit of an Artosis pylon. Everything gets cancelled. And where are things gonna take us here? We still have a couple of probes alive for herO. The mutas are still quite threatening. We have 35 mutas in total. Still have plenty of bases here for herO as well, as he's laying siege upon the main base. Mutas turn back around. They're trying to hunt down these zealots. Not the most important pickoff, but a pickoff nonetheless. A lot of these zealots are going to be going down. Can he go toe-to-toe with these stalkers? 33 stalkers against 35 mutas. They did just waste their blink. He's going for the fight. Can he take it? I don't know if he can. We weren't fighting with all our mutas. No! And even if we were, these are +2, +3 stalkers. They take down the mutas. GG gets called. And herO will be this week's KSL champion. GG. Ay. The upgrades were insanely in favor of herO. +3 attack, 3/2 stalkers. Ay. GG. Dark, making the game quite chaotic, did survive long enough to actually squeeze out those mutas, and he did force the base trade as a result, but he didn't quite have a ground army, unfortunately. He was just stuck making pure muta against all those blink stalkers. And yeah, I mean, herO, he was more than willing to not just like initiate and go along with the base trade, but even just excel in it as well. GG, well played. Congratulations to herO, as he's going to be this week's KSL champion, taking down Dark in the grand finals. I can also say Dark, but you know, he did put on a good showing. Did have a pretty good showing overall, making it to the finals in the end, but wasn't able to bring down herO. Oh, next time though, next time. GG. Let's go. Also, I did notice in the middle of that game, massive shout out to Florencio in the chat. Thank you so much for the raid. Hope you had a great stream. Hope you had a great ladder session. I hope you enjoyed the sewer. Hope you swimmed freely. Thank you. Thank you for the raid, as you came in just in time for the grand finals, and we just wrapped up. That was the final game here of the grand finals of the Korean StarCraft League, week number 16. Again, congratulations to herO. A shout out to herO, to Dark, to Solar, and Classic, as they were the top 4 performers here of this tournament. Oh boy. And yeah, it looks like this week, once again, herO takes down Dark. I do think that historically, I think herO has an advantage over Dark. I actually want to double check that. Let's have a look at the stats. I'm really curious, because I'm pretty sure recently he has been performing a little bit better. Yeah, so this year in 2023, herO has a 78% win rate against Dark in series, 62 in game. So yeah, 62% win rate. Damn. So not the biggest lead, but a lead nonetheless. And yeah, the past 3 best of 5s, herO has taken it every single time. Damn. GG, well played. herO just seems to be acclimated to Dark quite a bit here. They faced off in the finals of KSL 16, 14, 9. Ay. GG, well played. And I look forward to seeing them again. The next KSL, number 17, is going to be in a couple of days. It is going to be in 3 days. So we will be looking to cast that live. So if you're interested in some more Korean StarCraft, we got you covered then and there in just 3 short days for KSL number 17. And I'm sure both herO and Dark will be there. And hopefully we get a little bit better Terran representation. I believe in this tournament, the only Terran, or the only notable Terran, was Gumiho. And Gumiho does go for some decent runs, but Gumiho did fall to Classic this week. So Classic did 2-0 Gumiho, which is pretty impressive. I mean, Gumiho is the runner-up for ESL Masters Summer, so very impressive stuff there by Classic. Unfortunately, Gumiho couldn't quite represent the Terran race on his own. And again, hopefully next time we get a couple more, at least a couple. Mutas from behind always remind me of Rogue. True. I kind of miss Rogue. He also had a very aggressive style as well. Hopefully, maybe he returns one day. He returns. But yeah, I hope everyone had a great time today. Hope everyone enjoyed themselves. Our next broadcast, if you're interested in more of the CranKy Ducklings, we do cast KSL every single week, of course. But we also cast many other events as well. Tomorrow, we're going to be doing a replay cast of ESL Masters Summer, the group stage. So, DreamHack Yongshipping, we were lucky enough to cast it live. We were casting day one live on this channel, but the open brackets was pretty big, and unfortunately a lot of matches weren't casted in the open bracket, so we're doing some catch-up replay casts. We did Group A last week, I believe. We casted, that's the week where we casted Starnan, Sort of, Night Phoenix. It was great to see Sort of and Starnan, these old school Swedish players, come out of retirement and return for the open bracket of ESL Masters Summer. So we were able to feature them last week, and it was a lot of fun. It was really exciting, actually. As an old school fan, it was really cool to see Starnan and Sort of competing again after a long time, after a long hiatus, and they didn't look too bad. They did not look too bad at all against Hearthstone, against Lambo, against Night Phoenix, against these more modern players. So yeah, it was a lot of fun. Tomorrow, I think we're going to be casting Group B. So yeah, basically, there were a lot of matches that weren't broadcasted to the public, and we do have our hands on the replays. I mean, the replays were made publicly available, so we are going to be just going over those groups and casting them as well, just to make sure that, you know, everything is shared to the public, and I'm sure there are some gems hidden amongst the rough in that open stage. I mean, I say that. There were a lot of really good players in the open stage of ESL Masters Summer. I mean, herO didn't even make it out. herO didn't even make it out of the group stage, which is crazy. It's absolutely wild. And we casted that. We were able to cast that live. But it just goes to show like how brutal the open bracket was at DreamHack, and how unforgiving it was as well. We've all expressed our opinions on the formats of that tournament, and I myself wasn't too fond of it. But regardless, you know, I do still want to shed some light on a lot of those matches wherever we can. So if you're interested, in less than 24 hours tomorrow, we are going to be casting some more of ESL Masters Summer. And yeah, if you're interested, hit that follow button. Follow us here on the CranKy Ducklings if you want to be notified for when we go live. We also have Twitter, we have Facebook, we have Instagram, we have a YouTube channel, we have a Discord server as well, so be sure to tune in. This is a bit of a PSA. World Team League WTL is on hiatus this week. It is not going to be played out this week. Why? Home Story Cup. Home Story Cup. We're coming home, Barbie. We're coming back home this weekend. Friday, Saturday, Sunday, another PSA. Home Story Cup is upon us. Be sure to tune in. I know it's at a more EU-friendly time, and I know that's not amazing if you're in this part of the world. I'm in Australia. If you're in Australia or Southeast Asia, it's deep into the night, but I will be looking to absolutely ruin my sleep schedule. I just fixed it, by the way. Today I woke up at like 8 a.m. Like I've been fixing it, and I know that I have to ruin it again if I want to stay up and watch Home Story Cup, and I do. I do want to. Do I? I'll try to. The problem with Home Story Cup is we have casts in the day. Like we still have to cast over the weekend as well. On top of that, I also want to watch Home Story Cup, so I'll try and figure it out. I may have to just have a bunch of coffee. We'll see. We'll see. But make sure you tune in. It's going to be a great time. The player list has already been announced. The groups have already been announced, and I believe it is a purely invite tournament. There were no qualifiers. No qualifiers for Home Story Cup, just only invites. And yeah, make sure you tune in. It's going to be a lot of fun. Coffee isn't playing. Too soon, Kuro. Too soon. Ay. Oh my god. You're an animal. Hopefully herO brings us into GSL. I hope so as well. Definitely looking forward to GSL this season. Oh boy. And yeah, with that, we are done here for the day. If you want to tune into more of my solo content, I do I do stream throughout the week. I try to stream throughout the week. I might stream tomorrow before ESL Masters Summer. I might squeeze in a cheeky ladder session. So if you're interested, exclamation mark light in the chat for my socials. Again, I mainly just ladder there or play some Diablo 4 with Asher. You know, just some more chill content to wind down when we're not casting. Otherwise, if you're only interested in our casting, CranKy Ducklings all over the place, all over the place. We also have a Patreon, exclamation mark Patreon in the chat if you want to support us there. Our Patreon is set up to fund our tournaments. We do host 3 different bi-weekly events, and it is all funded through Patreon. So if you want to support us, if you want to grow or help us grow and support these smaller regions, then yeah, consider checking out our Patreon. We do our best. You can see down there in the bottom right, our current goal to fund our tournaments is 300 USD a month, and at the moment we're almost halfway there. We're doing our best to achieve that goal, to achieve that dream, to fund our tournaments, and then hopefully we can grow them even more from there. We can turn them into weeklies. We can maybe have some monthly tournaments and all that good stuff. So that's our current goal with the CranKy Ducklings. So consider checking us out there. Otherwise, thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for tuning in. Stick around. We're going to be giving another StarCraft streamer a raid. Who? I don't know. I'll check who's streaming right now. We'll give someone a raid. Give them a chance. Give them some support. Give them some love. And we'll see you guys tomorrow for another cast. Until then, bye.